My name is Christian Borgia, and I am a holistic health coach. I am also a father, a husband, and just a man trying to be able to get through this world the best that I can, the healthiest that I can. And I focus on coaching people about, how to be able to obtain more longevity, all right, more energy, more strength, all that kind of stuff. So if that is you, you've come to the right place. Today, we're going to be diving into some fascia work. Now, I've been on a journey myself, obviously working the fascia, try to be able to getting all the aches and pains away as I continue to age and then go through life. And a network or group of people that I've been really diving into is everyone over at Human Garage. And I started doing their movements a little over a month ago. Went through their 28 days, and honestly, it changed my body and it changed my life. I've been going to seeing acupuncturists and chiropractors and getting body work my entire life. I want to say probably like 6-7 years. I've been dealing with a hip issue on this right side. Well, first, actually, I've been dealing with my whole life. I had a shot here when I was a kid that didn't go well, and I had a cyst from it. So eventually I got that cyst removed, and it just created problems within this hip. Then having kids and holding them over here was my go-to, and that didn't help either. So I've dealt with a lot of imbalances within the hips on this side. And when I started doing this fascia work through Human Garage, I had some insane improvements to the hip, and now really no longer have that hip pain anymore. And I have not seen any of my specialists that I had been seeing before that I typically have to go to, every couple months to have them try to work it back in and take care of it. So now I've been actually able to do it on my own, as well as, as myself, I hold a lot of stress in my neck, the scalenes and the shoulders, the traps, all of that stuff. And that's usually an area that I'm always trying to trigger point and get to release. I'm also in the ocean a lot, so I've had issues with my ears and my sinuses. So I've had a lot of issues. And Human Garage, and I've had a lot of issues, and the practices that I've had a lot of issues. So the movements that I've been practicing through Human Garage have touched on all the issues that I've always gone to see my people to help fix me, right? From my hip to my neck, shoulders, my sinuses, my ears. And through these movements, I've been able to adjust, release, and kind of take care of them myself. So super grateful that I've been able to find that, and for all the information that they've put out. So first, go check them out if you haven't already. All right. Or make a note. And then I'm going to take you through the movements that I've learned from them that have really helped me out a lot. I like to do these movements in the morning and in the evening. I do them anywhere between 5 to 7 days a week. And I break it down to as much time as I have allotted is what I do. And typically I'll scale down on the breaths. Now, as we get into these movements, we're going to focus in on our breathing. All right. The big thing we're going to really try to bring in is this lock right here. All right. This pelvic lock, getting the core tight, getting all this activated to protect the lower back. All right. And then get the glutes activated. All right. And we want to lock all this up so that we really start to build tension all up in here as we start to breathe, because we're focusing in on getting, all right, the oxygen into wherever we're feeling tension, and that's what's going to help us release whatever we're storing, right? So the first movement we do is a pallet cleanse. All right, and we're just going to cross right leg over and right arm over to the other shoulder, and we're going to bring left hand to the other shoulder. All right, now from this position, you're going to take your right hand, all right, that's in here, your thumb, and we're going to go to the roof of your mouth. So maybe if you need to pause and go wash your hands real quick, go do that. All right, but we're going to get 6 swipes, all right, to the right, and then we're going to go from there. So here we go. Palate cleanse, 6 swipes in 3, 2, and 1. And 6. There we go. So after each movement, we're going to kind of take a little break. We want to wiggle things out. All right. And what the reason why we want to take that break and kind of wiggle things out, take a walk. You can walk in a circle if you're limited on room, or you can walk in a straight line. Typically, we want to be able to walk in a nice straight line because it's helping rebalance the mechanics within the body. All right, the fascia is moving around and replacing and adjusting itself based off of the movements that we're doing. So we want all that to settle in properly, right? So that we're good to go. So as we go through this, all right, I'm gonna give you the example and we'll do it together. We're gonna focus in on the right side first. We're gonna cross over, right leg, right arm is gonna go underneath the armpit, then left hand is gonna come to the right shoulder on top. We're gonna look over, all right, our left shoulder here. Remember, we want to keep the belly button sucked in, tight core, tight glute here. All right, we're gonna get 6 breaths in through the nose. Now, again, if you need to shorten up the time, you can go down to 3 breaths in through the nose. But we're going to go 6 breaths in through the nose, and we want to stick our tongue into our cheek. That's it. We want to build tension in the side of the face and the head as we get that. Remember, tension is what it's all about. Now, as you've got your right hand underneath your left armpit and your right hand on top of your left hand on top of the right shoulder. All right, we're looking over here. We rotate the body. We're going to get those 6 breaths in through the nose. Now, after you get the 6 breaths in through the nose, you're going to stay in that position. And then we're going to keep everything tight. We're going to breathe in through the mouth. We're going to parse our lips like you're sucking in through a straw. We're going to go and let it go. We don't want to blow it out. We just kind of want to let it fall. We're going to do that 3 times. That's a total of 9 of those inhales that we'll be going through. And then after those, then we're going to go into breathing in through the nose and out through the mouth for 6. We're going to rotate to the other side. We're going to repeat those breaths on the other side. So once we're done with those 6 in through the nose, out through the mouth, don't release. Pause, wait with me, just follow along with me, and you'll be good to go. Here we go. 3, 2, and 1. Tight core. Good. Cool. Tight. Here we go. Good. Bring the head back to center. All right. Reset. Wiggle the toes. Feel your feet. Suck the belly button back in. We're going to look other side. We're going to do the exact same type of breathing in through the nose, tongue in the cheek. Here we go. 6 times. So there we go. All right. We want to get that walk in now. Again, either do circles depending on how much space you have here. Or if you got a nice straight line you can go in that straight line. But take note, what do you feel? Do you feel anything in the legs? One leg, both legs? Do you feel anything in the shoulders, the neck, the hips? Take note of what you're feeling. All right. And one thing I like to do before I get into these practices is do like a little quick meditation and think about some intentional things. Think about anything that I possibly need to let go of. Think about anything intentionally that like might be bothering me, or I just try to tap into any of those feelings that might be stored, any tension that I can bring up, so that we can try to release it. Right? We want to be intentional with that, because we're going in, we're focusing in on tension, and we're focusing it up on being able to build and create space within the body and freeing the body so that we feel good, and all that stuff. So we're gonna do the exact same thing, but on the opposite side. All right. So instead of using the right to cross over, we're gonna cross over with the left. All right. Just like so. Again, suck the belly button in, keep it all tight. This one, we're always gonna look over, whichever hand is in the armpit. So we're gonna look over to the right this time. All right. Tongue in the cheek, 6 breaths in through the nose. We're gonna do 3 rounds of okay, 3 rounds of that, and then 6 in through the nose, out through the mouth to finish the side. We bring it to center. We do the same breath work on the other side, and then we walk it out, loosen it up, and see how we feel. All right, so just follow along with me. Focus in on the breathing. You can close your eyes if you'd like to, or find something to focus on. But if you're gonna, with your eyes, either close them or find something to focus on. I like to focus on something, but sometimes it just feels good to close them. So whatever intentionally feels best for you. But here we go. 3, 2, and 1. Let's get it. All right, go ahead and shake that out. I'm definitely feeling a lot more relaxed after that second one. I'm now feeling some of the things that I was feeling in the left leg now in the right leg. Definitely feeling my right hip on that one. As I told you, that's been more of my sensitive area. Not feeling it in a painful area, just feeling that like it is tighter than my left side. However, though, movement wise and everything like that, as I go through day to day, week to week so far, it's been feeling great. But I always know that it's going to be a little tighter on that side. So just something that I know, that I'm aware of, with that. But other than that, I was starting to really feel into my neck on that one, tightness and then loosening up and whatnot. Now the next one, I love going into this next one. They call this one anti-gravity, but we're going to go into some neck and then into some squat movements with this one. Now, it's important. We want to interlock the fingers like this and then try to keep the thumb over. But we're going to put this around the back like so. And we need inside our hands to pinch pinch the neck, not super hard to the point that it hurts, but we just want to squeeze and just lock the skin in place. And then what we're going to be doing is we're going to bring the elbows up, point the elbows up, and right into this area, we're going to get onto what you call about your occipital ridge, right where your skull kind of meets the neck, and we're going to hold the fascia in place there. All right, and so that's a big part. Again, fingers interlocked, bring it back here, squeeze it in, and then bring those elbows up. You should feel a nice squeeze and some tightness onto the skin of the back of the neck and connecting into the head. Then from there, we're going to be looking up. We're going to get 3 breaths in through the nose, 3 breaths in through the mouth. We'll bring it down, 3 breaths in through the nose. Once we get the 3 breaths in through the nose, we're going to go into 6 rotational breaths. All right, we're going to keep the hands on the back of the neck the entire time, so just so you know that. All right, but we're going to breathe in through the mouth, and then we're going to rotate up at the top, exhale, bringing it back down. Pause, inhale, all right, through the mouth, rotate, exhale, bring it back down. We're going to do a total of 6 breaths. That's 3 on each side. Once we get through those 3 on each side, we're going to bring it down into a squat position. And with the squat position, all we want to do is focus in on pushing your butt back and then bringing the hips down. All right, it's going to fold the chest here. We do want to bring, all right, the chest up, though. Keep the chest proud. We're not going to want to be, all right, like this. We want to try to extend the chest up to get that good posture. And from there, we're going to get 3 breaths back in through the nose and out the mouth. Then we're going to get those rotational breaths. Breath in through the mouth here. Just like so for another 6. All right. Then from there, this one gets a little advanced. Again, keeping the hands on the head. We're going to drop it from here down into a full squat. We're going to tuck the chin. And from here, we're going to get 3 breaths in through the nose, 3 breaths in through the mouth. So a total of 6 breaths. And then to come out of the movement, all right, it's going to be finishing it up. From here, we want to lead with your butt and your hips and then come up just like so. We're going to look up, a deep breath here, and then come down, and then just pause here for a minute, all right? Because this one can be a lot. They call it anti-gravity because you can get a little lightheaded, a little squirrely. So just give yourself a moment, all right? And breathe, and then we're going to walk, all right? So again, just follow along here with me. We're going to interlock the fingers, 3 breaths in through the nose, 3 breaths in through the nose, 3 in through the mouth, and just follow along with me. We'll get those rotations coming through. All right, so here we go. lead with the hips and butt. And sometimes I like to get a couple breaths down here, 3 in through the nose, 3 in through the mouth if I'm feeling tight hamstrings or whatnot. Sometimes I'll just give myself a moment to wiggle around, try to lock the legs out here, get a full length in the legs, and then slowly, one vertebrae at a time, activating the glutes, starting to bring the body up. We're going to look up at the sky, a couple deep breaths here. And then let it all come down. Shake it out again when I said give yourself a moment here. All right, I usually get a little lightheaded and whatnot coming back into everything there. And when you're ready, go ahead and take a nice little walk, shake it out, whatever you feel your body needs. But again, focus in on, how that one felt for you. Where did you feel tension at? How did the breathing feel? How was keeping the core tight? So really think about how these movements are feeling as you go through them. And again, if this is your first time, it's going to be hard. It's going to be challenging. It's going to be different. It really wasn't, until like my third or fourth time where I started feeling some big releases. That's when I got this hip to pop and release. And as I've gone through, the first 28 days and whatnot of it, there was, as I worked through, other things started releasing, other things started popping and different stuff, and feeling a lot better. So it's the consistency as well as the connection that is a big deal with these movements. So we really need to be, staying consistent with it. I suggest morning and night, slim it down if we need to in the morning. If you have more time at night, you can be more intentional with it. That's the best time. And oh man, my sleep has been awesome with it. So that's my suggestion. And yeah, we're gonna get into the next movement now. We're gonna be getting into that squat position where we just want soft knees, push the butt back until your hands come down to your knees here. All right, now we're gonna take the right hand, we're gonna bring it to the shoulder, and it's just gonna be there for placement. What we're gonna do is take the left hand, we're gonna slide it down and get a good grip on the tricep right here, backside of your arm, that tricep there. All right, we're gonna look over the right shoulder, and what we're gonna do is we're gonna start to get deeper in the squat and pull this as we look this way, and we're going to get those breaths in. I like to get 3 breaths in through the nose, keeping the core tight as we work that through, and then anywhere between 3 to 6 breaths. We're going to do 6 breaths in through the mouth after the 3 in through the nose. So total of 9 breaths. We'll come back up and we'll get the other side, and then we'll walk and shake it out. All right, so here we go. 3, 2, and 1. Again, tight core, chest up, right hand, left shoulder, slide, pull, looking over that shoulder here. Awesome. All right, so again, take note on where you felt any tension. All right, I felt tension in through the lower body, a little bit in the shin, a little bit in the hip over here, and then definitely all up and through the back and the shoulder on that right side. So now we're gonna do the exact same thing on the left side, cross over here, pull this through, looking over, and get those 3 in through the nose, 6 in through the mouth. Here we go. Tight core. So again, there's no right or wrong direction to rotate the body and move. We all are going to hold that tension in different areas of the body. So we want to be able to move into that tension. When you start to feel tightness, that's the tension that we're talking about. We want to go into that tension. So I was starting to feel tightness over here. So I want to try to pull that more and breathe in and expand that area even more, because it's locked up. We want that expansion to come through. That's what's going to open up and release whatever tension that may be stored in that area and start, building some energy there, some life there, regenerating life there, right? We want a flowing water within the body. We don't want a clogged up, river system, because then it's going to get all nasty. And then that's when we get disease in areas. So that's the point on that, so feel it out. Again, what did you feel from left to right side there? Make those notes. We're going to go into the next movement. All right, now the next movement is going to kind of tap into some of the same areas, but we're going to get a little bit more in the obliques. Again, we're going to cross. All right, right hand's going to go on top of the shoulder here. Then left hand's going to go under here. Now this time we are pretending like we're pulling our shirt over. We want to get a good tight grip on the rib cage or the lat muscle right there. All right, we want to lock that fascia into place. And from here, we're going to look over whichever hand we're pulling the shirt over, and we're going to inch the shoulder up, up, up. And we're going to breathe in 3 in through the nose, and then the 6 in through the mouth. And then once we get to the top, we're going to start to come into a squat, and then we're going to pull. You want to pull this side. We're going to open all of that up. We've got meridians in the body, energy systems, if you're into acupuncture and stuff like that. These meridians. I am not an acupuncturist. I am just learning about the meridians, all right? But we've got a big one that I believe ties into liver and stuff like that along the back side that we're going to be tapping into. So a lot of this, there's a lot that goes into these fascia maneuvers. And when we bring the breath in and we bring in tension and we're really focused in on mind to connection, we're feeling all these different things, you start to feel a lot. Sometimes it can be overwhelming. So just give yourself some grace, be patient with yourself, and whatever you and your body needs, it'll flow through you. We're also getting into a really great flow state as well here. So, all right, we're going to focus in on 3 breaths in through the nose, then the 6 in the mouth, and we'll switch sides. We'll get the other side. But starting off with this right side, here we go. Right into the other side here. Get pulling your t-shirt over, locking this into place. That one really feels good. All the areas around the shoulder blade, all up back in here, and all this area in here is where I really feel that one. Yeah, a little bit in the hips and whatnot. Beginning, the hips were really tight with that one. And so again, as you progress through, and that's what the consistency is about, it's important that you take note. You remember how you feel when you first start, so that you are able to look back and remember how you felt when you first started compared to where you're at now. Because often, we only really are aware and we observe when life is shitty, when we're not feeling well, right? When all that kind of stuff is kind of taking place. We remember those things because we're not happy. All right, but as soon as we get happy and things are going good, a lot of times we don't really realize, that everything is great and everything's feeling good. We don't really come back to ourselves until life makes us, right? So by trying to practice that intentionality and that in-tuneness, right? Connecting to your body and grounding yourself, it's going to allow you to have that awareness so you can really see the progress of what you've been doing. And it just, it's motivating, it's inspiring, and something that you can, end up being proud of yourself for. So we got one last movement that I'm going to take you guys through. Now, this one is a little bit more challenging. It's called the Pretzel squat. All right, but this one I always feels super good for the hip, unlocks my hamstring, and just opens up space and energy within the hip here. All right, so with this one, we're gonna bring our left foot and make kind of like a right angle with the feet here. Then we're gonna step out about 2 to 3 feet, and we want to lock the knees out. So no bend in the knees. Knees are straight, locked out. All right, we're going to rotate, all right, to the side here. We're going to extend out right arm, and left hand's going to come onto the hip. Now from here, we want to push the hip out, lean through here. All right, right hand's going to come up to the shoulder, then left hand is going to slide up the back like so. Okay. We're like this. All right, then we're going to bend the knees and we're going to come down into a squat. But we want to rotate the head to look over the other shoulder. All right, now as we're here, we're going to get 3 breaths in through the nose, 3 breaths in through the mouth. Then we're going to switch hands and switch the direction that we're looking at. And again, 3 breaths in through the nose, 3 breaths in through the mouth. You might get sweaty. Your legs might start shaking. This is a little bit more of a challenging one, but just go with your range of motion. Don't try to force anything. Again, this isn't about perfection. It's about you finding the tension. You might find this one pretty quick. All right, and just breathing into it and doing your best to get through this. All right. Once we're done with one side, we'll take a break and we'll go to the other side. All right. Last movement here. You've got this. So here we go. Switch sides. Breathe through the nose, breathe through the mouth. There we go. All right. Depending on where you're at in your fitness journey, that one can be a little bit more of a challenging one. So give yourself some time, walk it out, grab a sip of water if you need it. We're just going to get the other side. The same exact thing we just did. It's the other side. This is going to be the last one for this session here today. So you're almost through it. Walk it out. Again, take note of how that one felt. If that one was a hard one, all right, then maybe an intention we can put is I want that one to not feel as hard. The more you practice it, the closer to that goal you should be, right? You want to start focusing in on being able to master these movements. It's not so much of like just practicing them, but like mastering these movements. It says you got to do something 10,000 times to be a master of it. Let's get this other side. All right. So as you notice, I went a little longer on that side. Um, I kind of just got lost in a flow there. I was just focusing in on my breath, and uh, my body needed more breath. So that's okay. All right. And that's part of connecting to this flow. As I get into some of these movements, sometimes I can find my mind just kind of start to go off and wander and kind of daydream. And that's okay. I used to get angry at myself over, I call it focus, but in this essence, it's not. It's actually more flow. It's tapping into something else that's, again, you can start to think about things that have happened to you emotionally. Emotions come up, or life events that have been emotional for you come up. And that's part of all of this, right? There's information that is stored within our fascia. And one thing that I've kind of come to and still kind of understanding, and if you check out Human Garage again, they're going to talk about that your fascia is right there when the embryo is being born. It's one of the main things that kind of orchestrates the creation and of the physical body. But it also plays a major role in our subconscious, right? Your fascia is what allows our body to use information. All our senses, our eyes, our nose, our taste, our feel. The first thing that senses everything that we're sensing is our fascia, and then it reports it up to the brain, and the brain's able to start making decisions, right? But first, what is kind of bringing in, the things to make decisions on is that fascia. That's the first part of consciousness, or our subconscious, that is starting to make decisions and starting to transfer information, much like our vagus nerve. So, there's a lot to the body that influences the mind. So this is why it's so important to be moving your body and really being intentional with your movements, right? This is why I got away from working out and focusing on practicing movements and training, being intentional with it. So other than that, again, I appreciate you being here, going through these movements. I really just hope that you're able to stay consistent with these movements. Again, challenge is 28 days, at least once a day. I like to do them in the morning and in the evening. You can slim down the breaths if you're short on time, or you can increase the breaths if you're feeling good and you want to go deeper into it. But try to be intentional with it. I suggest you keep a journal with how you're feeling with these movements and see your progression and your feelings as you move forward. And share this with anyone else that you feel could benefit from this. And if you've benefited from it, hit that thumbs up. Leave a comment with anything that you felt or anything like that. I love to be able to hear feedback, bad or good. Again, it helps me grow as well. And then subscribe. I've got other videos here too. Suggest checking out the lymphatic little video as well, getting the lymphatic going, and then getting into this is a really good thing right there. But yeah, other than that, again, grateful to have you here. Hope you have a wonderful day. Go check out Human Garage. Subscribe here, subscribe to them, and share this with someone that could use it. All right, we'll see you. Bye.